We're live.
Okay, we can start the meeting. You're the chairman?
Okay,
Yes, go ahead.
good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:01. This is April 7th, 2021. On the agenda, we have an item is it's a public hearing and consideration of the violation of the city ordinance 2020-21 by a structure located at 209 North First Street, bearing a legal description of Harlingen original town site and 60 lots 7 and 8, block 37, and possible action regarding remediation of violations.
First is-
May I suggest we follow the agenda,
Okay,
the pledges of allegiance, citizen communication,
okay,
and an approval of the minutes. And then the public hearing is item 3.
okay. Please, allegiance, welcome.
We need to have, we need to stand up,
Seven,
we need to stand up for the pledge of allegiance.
okay.
We all do it together.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands,
stands
one
nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizen communication,
We have none.
okay. Item number 1 is citizen communication, we don't have any, right? Approval of minutes, meeting on January 7, 2021. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? A motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. It's approved. Item number 3, public hearing and action regarding.
You need to take a vote. Excuse me. You need to take a vote.
All in favor?
All those in favor
Oh,
of
okay.
approving the minutes?
All those in favor of approving the minutes, say.
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, public hearing and action regarding the compliance with the city ordinance 2020-21 by a structure located at 209 North First, bearing a legal description of Harlingen original town site, North 60, lots 7, 8, block 37. This is a public hearing to determine compliance or non-compliance with the city ordinance 2020-21.
Manny, can you present the case, please? Manny, can you give a brief presentation, please?
Might be muted.
Well, I guess we lost Manny, so.
He's muted.
Manny, can you unmute yourself, please?
It's on the bottom of the phone.
Somebody should go to his office and tell him that we can't, that it doesn't look like he can hear us.
He's at the convention center.
Can somebody text him, call him?
Javier, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he wanted you to make a presentation on that item. You can. Javier?
Yes.
No, Javier, what do you want Manny to present as far as evidence?
Well, the latest on the, you did the field inspections and you notify the new property on, can you give us a synopsis, Manny, on the latest on this building?
All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Manny. I'm with the Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Harlingen. I went ahead and we did another inspection of this property this month of March, and we sent the notice out to Mr. Cruz Martinez, who has taken ownership of the property. In the notice of violation that we sent him, that some of the photos that were submitted to him and to the board, we see how the roof has issues with it after this last freeze. We noticed that some of the deterioration of the structural component are starting to get worse by all the water intrusion that's happening with the building. And we know that these components, by the continual exposure to water, they can also be susceptible to be attacked by mold or other bacteria that can cause them to decompose even further. Some of the metal components in the building, they were noticeable as well, also are affected or weakened by the same moisture that's causing what's being caused to the water. Now we're getting rust, we're getting corrosion, and all this water that's coming into the building is through the roof. In the pictures that were submitted, you can see some of the components where they're already missing. The AC that's on top of the roof has continued to sag to one side per se, or it's starting to cave into the actual roof itself. We've also noticed some areas of the exterior part of the property. According to the property maintenance 2018, the property owner must maintain the building in good repair or to be structurally sound. And we've noticed some of the components in the front part of the porch that's there per se. It's caved onto the sidewalk. We've noticed some of the block has shifted on one side, which is leading to the other property. It's in the picture as well. So we've started to notice how this building is becoming more of an issue. It could possibly be the walls are losing supporting. We've had plumbing issues. We have holes, cracks, some materials being rotted away. So we don't know if these walls are capable of supporting the loads that they're intended for on the structure. And all this was noted to the property owner, to Mr. Martinez, when the notice was sent to him. As far as we can tell, that's why we're bringing this item back to the Construction Board of Adjustments.
Also, if I may add, yesterday we received a report from Mr. Martinez. He hired Solorio Inc., who is Simon Solorio is a structural engineer. And yesterday he submitted a report that I forwarded to everybody. So you should have received a report yesterday. Mr. Solorio has determined that the building can be restored. It obviously needs a new roof, and there's a lot of work to be done, but in his opinion, the building can be restored. And the property owner is here. Would you like to say a few? Yes. Yes, over here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cruz Martinez. I took ownership of the property in question. I just wanted to make it known that I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here and address everybody, and grateful to be given the opportunity to embark on the responsibility of improving this structure. My intent is to improve the structure, have it commercially rented out, have it be a source of business and revenue for Harlingen. I would like the opportunity to do so. And as Mr. Cervantes had said, I hired a structural engineer to determine the stability of the building And in his professional assessment, he has determined that the building can be repaired. And with that new information, I would greatly like the opportunity to be able to do so and to move forward with my, my dream or my intention to improve the property in question. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any questions?
Do you have a timeline, sir?
I reached out to the roofing contractor that initially gave me the roofing estimate. He has yet to come back to me. I barely received this assessment yesterday, so I reached out to him yesterday. He hasn't been able to give me a timeline. He has things on his plate. So I'm waiting on information from the roofing contractor. I don't have a timeline yet.
Do you know who is the roofing contractor?
Yes, he is. He's located out of Harlingen. He does work here. As far as a company name or his information, I don't. We're just communicating, getting quotes, getting estimates initially. And then when I came into light of the history of the building, that communication stopped. Because now I had to put a hold on that and look at an engineer, hire an engineer firm. Now that I have that information, I've reestablished contact with him yesterday. So the communication between myself and the roofing contractor has started up again, but it's still in that stage that's determining the timeline and so forth.
But it's our understanding that you do intend to bring it up to code and get it
Yes.
up to whatever remediation is required
Correct.
by this. Okay, great.
Do you have an idea about how long it's going to take you to bring it up to code?
I'm guesstimating anywhere between maybe 8 months to a year and a half.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, this is an endeavor that I took upon myself. I don't have a group of investors. I don't have, a company. I bought the building thinking, okay, I mean, I do know people in construction. My brother has a crew, so I'm hoping to get people to get in there and do it quickly. But I guess I kind of put the, let me see, how can I phrase this? I bit off a little more than I could chew, but it's something that my original intent was to purchase the building, fix it up little by little, and then get it leased out. And if there's anything that the city needs me to do to maintain compliance, I would definitely do that while improving the structure as well.
well, mainly that, the roof is to start with, and then we need to check the foundation, see if there's a wall that is pretty bad in there. We need to look into the foundation, see, but those are the main things, what we're looking for is for the other people next to you, not to be in, something can go wrong, they get an accident, and the city is real concerned about getting that building safe for everybody. So to get to that point, you can tell us, well, I need 30, 60 days. We can probably do that, but mainly is secure everything, roof, walls, windows, whatever, nobody can get in there because it can be a problem.
Okay,
So what we need from you is to say 30, 60 days to take care of that. And from there, you can always come back and say, I need more time or something.
yes, I understand your concern, and I can definitely do that. My previous answer, 8 months to a year and a half, was the completion of the entire project, not just starting. Let me clarify that. I can definitely get in there, start it, make sure the windows, the doors are secured, make sure no one's getting in and out. we can address the issue of the roof and help start to safeguard the building
Right.
for against further deterioration or against any other problems that have been created by its abandonment.
What was your purchase date, sir?
Purchase date,
Yeah, like when you become officially here.
I think it was maybe about 6 weeks ago.
The deed shows February 23,
The 23rd.
February 23. This
Okay.
became officially his property.
So, next time, I would say.
Have you done anything at all, any type of improvement?
I have not, because I wanted to get the assessment first from the engineer. If the engineer had determined that it was a lost cause, I didn't want to waste any investment money on it.
Last time, we, during this meeting, Mr. Manny had mentioned that there was concern in the front entrance that the roof had collapsed and somebody could actually go in through there. Is that still the case?
I believe that still is the case, sir. Yes.
Do we need to make like a priority list, or are we just saying we need to remediate everything?
If I may suggest, a priority list would be very helpful. If it's laid out too abstractly, I might think, these are the areas obviously of concern, and I might miss something that maybe is a greater concern for the city from the city's perspective. If, like you suggest, a priority list from the city to say, look, these are the first 3 things we need to get secured.
Right.
To make sure that as you move forward, these things are in place. That would greatly be appreciated.
I see 2 main things, that entrance problem at the entrance and then the roof. Those are the 2 main things that I see.
Sure.
Right,
Okay.
is address the entrance right away and then replacing the roof completely. That's number 2. And after that, you can work on the inside.
Okay.
Another question, have you got like insurance in the building?
No. I have been calling. There's no insurance in place yet. The insurance that would be in place may be they call it a builder's insurance,
Okay.
where when the building company goes in there
Build this place?
to improve it, then they would have to get it insured as they work on it.
Yeah. So I think it would be a good idea to get an insurance on the building, and liability, just in case somebody gets hurt.
Okay.
You need that to protect yourself.
Yes.
And also in case during the reconstruction, sometimes buildings collapse. So somebody else could be hurt. So it will be good for the policy to cover something like that.
Okay.
I've got a question. If this building is planned on going into some sort of restoration or reconstruction, is there a separate building permit that would need to be applied for to go through that process?
Good afternoon, Ismael Ortega, Chief Building Official. Yes, Mr. Flores, any repairs to the building would require a building permit prior to any disturbance of existing materials.
Thank you, sir. I think that just poses a different question, is where we talk about timelines and everything else on remediation, at least on the things that are outstanding now, and the main concerns, especially on the supporting of the existing walls and the decaying roof, and how that ties into the permitting process to get a reconstruction permit in place. I'm not sure how both of those would align.
Ismael, my guess is that Mr. Sonorio, the structural engineer that Mr. Martinez hired, Mr. Sonorio will need to submit a set of plans for you to review, right?
That's correct, for the permitting purposes.
Yes.
It will detail the actual repairs on the existing foundation, the existing wall, and the actual roof. The report he submitted basically states it needs to be repaired.
If a permit is needed, I need to know what is needed to just, in the meantime, support the walls that maybe, I don't know if there's anything in danger of imminent collapse, say on the neighboring property. I don't know what kind of permit is required just to secure that, or if that's possible. But after everybody's asked their questions, I've got some things in the code, and of course, regarding to local government code 214, which govern the timelines, which is really why we're talking about it, is because there's only so much the board can do timeline wise in accordance with the law without certain information from the property owner. But I would like to know what is required for the property owner to get in order to at least secure the building, make sure it doesn't fall or onto another property or be a danger to the public, boarding it up, what have you.
The engineer that did the assessment would have to provide some kind of documentation stating how the repair should be done or completed to bring that structure back into compliance. Like I said, the report that we have now basically states it needs to be repaired.
Right, which, yeah.
We're gonna come into, once we get to the building permit process, it comes in, well, how do we repair it? What may
Right.
take place?
Let me go ahead. By leave of the board, I just want to kind of go into where I'm headed here. Under 214, which is what local government code, which is what governs the ordinance that was enacted by Harlingen. It basically tracks the language. The board today can allow the landowner up to 30 days to repair, abate, what have you, the items that you see need repairing. Now, I think we all know that there's no way this building can be repaired in 30 days. If the board allows more than 30 days to repair, like say up to 90 days, you have to establish a schedule of hearings where the landowner comes back and reports on the progress, okay? Now, if the board wants to allow more than 90 days, it's incumbent upon, and it was in the notice that went out to the landowner, the landowner has to bring the board a schedule, a specific schedule and timeline to follow. And the board can then have follow-up meetings to check on the progress. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So where I'm getting at is what you may be able to order today may be limited to something that can take place in 90 days, such as any temporary remediation while a longer schedule to repair the building is being established. And that would be a separate order. I'm just bringing that to your attention as an option. Another might be to schedule another meeting when the landowner can come back with a specific timeline for remediation and then make the order then. I'm just putting that out there, so you know legally what your options are.
Okay. Do you have plans to start right away on securing a building?
I can secure it right away. I can address the issue at the entrance where that roofing area opened up and it's created an opening. I can repair the wood that was covering the windows and the walls that has fallen or warped out of place. I can secure that within a week. I can definitely do that. Yes.
What about the neighboring wall and the roof?
The neighboring wall, I can definitely get someone out there to go out there and help brace it and secure it in a way that that they can best, someone else would best be able to see how they would do that. But I could get someone out there to do that as well. The roof, what we can do with the roof is remove the mention of the air conditionings that are on top, take all that stuff out, clean it out, and start, I guess, removing portions of the roof that need to be removed so that when the new roof goes up in place, it's already been cleaned out. I can begin the process with that.
Okay,
Now with the
Oh.
roof, I'm sorry, I believe I can start that process. I want to see what the roofer says first. I'm not sure what his method of operation or how he operates.
okay. What about bracing the wall? How long would that take?
Bracing the wall, that's something that I would need to, I mean, I couldn't answer that. I would have to have someone out there, go out there and do it and see when they can go out there and do it. But I can get out, I can have someone out there by the end of in a week.
Okay. So one way this could be approached is the board could, and again, this is all up to the board. I'm just trying to kind of steer this along. The board could order securing the entry of the windows and the front and the bracing of the walls within 30 days. You could do that today. And then coming back for the rest of the building, the owner would need to bring a detailed schedule as to how long it would take to fix the roof and everything else and get it up to code. And then you can make an order regarding that at that time.
Sounds good. Somebody wants to make a motion?
I apologize for the background noise on my end, but would it be wise for us to stipulate supporting of the existing walls when he's got a report that's got some findings and some conclusions on his report?
Whose report?
That structural report that was sent over to us yesterday.
I don't understand. So you want to wait to order?
Well, no, I guess where I'm stuck on is we would specifically say for him to give him a time frame and say, you've got to go and support these walls when it might not be under the recommendations that came from that report specifically. That's kind of where I'm stuck at.
Mm-hmm.
This is David Day, and in full disclosure, the owner, Mr. Munoz, is that his name? He contacted me as a structural engineer, and since I sit on this board, I told him I could not view the property. I actually referred him to Mr. Solorio. And reading Mr. Solorio's report, and as a structural engineer, we're duly bound if there is danger of imminent collapse. I feel he would have put that in his report. What I feel now is that he should come up with a shoring plan, because you can't just remove that roof without shoring, because once you remove the roof diaphragm, then the walls are in danger. So a shoring plan, which would include, it would address the deal. He can have that done rather quickly. And so instruction to the owner should be an immediate a shoring plan for the walls and the roof so that they can be safely removed, and then reconstruction, because a roofer really can't give a bid without a plan because it involves a complete new roof structure. So if you need a motion, my recommendation would be to have the structural engineer prepare a shoring plan until construction is to start, and then the construction set of plans.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense. And again, we're looking though at the 214 rule. So if I don't know if a shoring plan is something that can be done in 30 days, or if it can be done within 90 days, then the board would need to set hearing dates for updates to monitor the progress. But yeah, I'm glad you said that. That makes sense.
If we choose the 90 days, how many hearings do we need to schedule?
As many as you feel are needed.
We could meet again in 1 month. Or depending if he provides a shoring plan, I could send it to the board. If he doesn't, then we could schedule a meeting again 1 month from today.
in the motion, do we have to say how many meetings, or can we say, at the will of, as we get more information, we'll schedule a hearing?
That would be better to, once we have information, to then schedule a meeting. By then, we probably have some progress, progress report on that.
You could set a minimum if you don't really know.
Like a minimum of one, or?
Yeah.
I think that would get us ultimately to our goal, right? To remediate any further deterioration from the building. Once all this engineering support goes through and the plan and it gets implemented actually out in the field. But then from that point forward, it's no longer on our plate, right? Then it goes into a construction permit application from there on out. Is that what I'm understanding if we go through this process?
Well, the board would still monitor the progress. It wouldn't just be sent off to the planning department for the issuance of a permit. I mean, you'd still monitor it and make sure it comes to completion. That's why it's here in the first place, because it has problems. Yeah, you could start with the shoring plan and securing entry, and you could set a timeline for that if you need subsequent meetings to check progress. And then in the meantime, the landowner needs to come back and you would have a separate hearing for a separate order to remediate the building pursuant to the schedule he will provide. So it's kind of like the preliminary and then the actual remediation.
Sounds like David Day had a really good motion, so I recommend he say the motion.
Okay, I make a motion that the owner, and I would put within 30 days, secure the entrances against admission from anyone from the outside, because the building is uninhabitable, and have an engineered shoring plan that can be implemented, and 30 days to have that done. And then from there, we begin the second phase, which would be the construction phase, preparing plans and construction documents for permit.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
It concludes there's no other agenda item.
No, it's just a turn.
I just want to thank again, everybody, and Mr. Day, I want to thank you for your insight. And everyone else, everyone involved, for allowing me to be here and helping me with this. Thank you.
Just bring us that shoring plan as soon as possible,
I will.
but at least within the 30 days.
Yes.
But if you know.
If I can get it sooner, definitely.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Thank you.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All those in favor? Signify by saying
Aye.
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 carries.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having the meeting.
I will. Thank you very much.